All right. Should be live. Should be live. I see there's some comments already. Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon on this wonderful Monday afternoon, everybody. We're going to talk about some video games. In particular, today we got to talk about the downfall of Sony. More bad news in this terrible year from the company. That's just that this company just got no momentum, nothing. And even though they tried to tell you that Spider-Man was their big savior, right? Yeah, it's not gonna touch what Nintendo or Xbox does for 2023. But so the big news today, unfortunate news really, is about the layoffs. Hey Zinc, think if you want to join, let me know. Or about the layoffs coming from Bungie. So Bungie's marathon delayed to 2025 due to layoffs, and we're just gonna break everything down. We're gonna break everything down. Let's try to have some fun, even though talking about people losing their job isn't exactly a fun topic. But still, your boy may be an Xbox dude, but I'm not so heartless that I make fun of people who lose their jobs. We are going to call out Sony though, because Sony got caught in a pretty big lie, right? A pretty big lie. Hey, Nene 29, he said PlayStation is dog shit and PlayStation has no games. Yeah, that is correct. They don't. Um, Seriously, what's their big game for next year? No, no, I don't even think any. First of all, their first party lineup has no release windows or nothing. I don't even think they got a single game coming next year, Nene, that at least says, "Hey, coming 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 2024 like Avowed or Hellblade 2 or Clockwork Revolution or Towerborn, where those games don't have a set release date yet. But it's pretty clear that what Xbox is going to do is what they did this year, do that showcase in January, give us release dates, maybe give us some surprise Game Pass releases, and then we know what the lineup is for 2024 is going to be, at least before their summer showcase. David Cohen is I agree. PlayStation 5 is that special. Also, Microsoft is doing something smart by banning third-party Xbox controllers, as controllers created by hackers illegally pirated controllers are not being banned. Yeah, man, definitely. But the main topic though is going to be about the Sony layoffs. So it looks like today it's been confirmed that Sony, a Bungie, who was recently purchased by Sony, I believe last year or earlier this year, whatever it was. Sometimes the timeline on this stuff gets sometimes this timeline on this stuff gets a little wonky, right? But still, they had to unfortunately lay off employees, which is causing delays. Not only delays in their game marathon, which was announced this year, um, which I think is going to be like a remaster, or remake, or something, but also a delay for any Destiny fans watching. Whatever new content they had planned for 2024 is going to be delayed as well. Then, you know, and what's crazy about it is that if we look back when they were first purchased by Sony, Bungie leadership assures employees Sony deal will not result in layoffs or restructuring. So, as we see, hey, Dave, if you want to join, let me know. I'll also send you a link. Hey, Zink, it doesn't matter. Zink, it doesn't matter if you missed the news. You could still chime in. I could get you caught up, and you're going to talk about Halo anyway. Yeah, but remake station, you funny man. Um, but yeah, man. So a company, this is kind of pretty typical, right? A big acquisition happens, a big move happens, and the promises are made. Promises are made that are often not followed through. All right, Dan, I'm about to send it to you right now. Promises are made that are also not followed through on, right? And in this case, they were told by higher ups, hey, this is going to lead to restructuring or layoffs, and then seems like a year later, unfortunately, that ain't how the world works, right? And then as a result, the already slim PlayStation lineup is even weaker now because next year listen, Sony's about to have 2 years in a row, 2023 and 2024, where they have an extremely weak lineup. I mean, this year, we know for Spoken failed. We know we know Final Fantasy 16 didn't do nearly as good as they expected, and now Sony first party wise has put all their bets on Spider-Man. But the problem is, this is a reason why Sony AAA exclusives are not profitable. All right, because this year, first of all, and I'm going to tie everything together. First of all, now let's not forget at the beginning of the generation, Sony spent $329 million on third-party exclusives. So this is pretty much why you got your Final Fantasies and Death Loops and all that stuff that was coming first to PlayStation or only on PlayStation, even though Sony don't own those studios, right? And remember, when games like Demon Souls and Destruction All Stars came out, they also didn't own the studios at the time. They might own them now, though. And so what we're seeing here is that we're seeing the losing formula here play out. We're seeing the losing formula here play out for Sony, and unfortunately, it's led to people losing their jobs, right? Um, Let's see. Faded Blaze says Bungie layoffs, SMH. Yeah. Box said bad news is good news for his bots today. Usually that's the case. I'm not going to Box. I'm not going to celebrate people losing their job though. But I am calling out Sony on their bullshit, getting caught in lies by saying, "Hey, we're not going to. It's not going to lead to layoffs." And then yeah, it literally does. But a year later, Remake Station should leave Sony alone. I guess Sony's bipolar like Britney Spears, huh? Just up and down out here, man. Because it ain't pretty right now. Remake Station 5. So just because you don't have Buggery 2 also mean to us ponies. Yeah, definitely, man. Stephen Ford said Xbox fanboys always hate on PlayStation, but I never talking about Xbox. Want to do something wrong. First of all, we talk about Xbox on the time. Matter of fact, click on my channel, see that the main topic of pretty much every podcast, except for a handful I do, Stephen, are Xbox topics first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not playing this game of Xbox just hate on PlayStation. No, what I'm doing is calling out PlayStation. I'm calling out PlayStation, a company that, let's see, that for starters here, employees were told that the deal wasn't going to result in layoffs. It did. We're talking about a company that spent $329 million on paying for games off Xbox, and see how it resulted into no success because their AAA exclusives aren't profitable, Stephen. And then not only that, Bungie delaying Marathon, which was going to come to Xbox anyway, which if I was interested in Marathon, Stephen, would affect me. So why would I be happy about that? Why would I be happy because a game that's come to Xbox I won't be able to play? And he's like, you're so sick of making fun of people. Hold on, Steven. I literally said like 6 fucking times, you bitch, that that I'm not here to make fun of people who lost their jobs. So fuck you for lying on my podcast. See, that's the one thing that triggers your boy Unlimited is when you come up here, lie, and say shit that is flat out not true. When I literally start the show saying I'm not going to make fun of them, I'm not going to sit here and laugh at people who lost their job. But you're there. But if you think I'm going to sit here and also throw a pity party towards Sony, who's running these fucking companies terribly, no, go fuck yourself. Excuse my language there, Dea. So introduce yourself. I do apologize. I got a little wound up for a moment.
I know. I don't know how I sound. I have a new mic, so I need some adjustments with it. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You sound good.
Okay. All right. So I'm Dea 4568. I'm here to share a little bit with me. Oh, and Unlimited, I can only stay until 8, so I figured I'd chime in while I could.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not gonna be long anyway. So yeah, let's go ahead and speak your mind. And if you gotta go, you gotta go.
Okay. Just to chime in on that guy who came here, I don't understand why you guys visit an Xbox channel if you don't want to hear any negativity about PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, they're going through their 2013 moment, and this is something you guys have to go through, just like we had to go through it on the Xbox side. And sometimes companies get into a state like that, But what I say is that PlayStation people need to start holding PlayStation execs accountable for some of the decisions that they've been making.
Yeah.
They the ones bought Bungie. They didn't have to buy Bungie, and now they're laying these people off. Games that were announced are not going to come. Factions that was past promise is not going to show up. That has zero to do with Xbox. That has zero to do with the fan base. People over here are happy. I can tell you that. We talk about all the time the acquisitions and what games we want out of Activision Blizzard, and what is the future going to look like? How do we think Fable is going to be? We talk about these subjects all the time. I hardly ever hear a PlayStation guy talk about the games on the PlayStation side or what they hope they see or the future. They don't talk like that, and I know this because I've heard them. They always talk about Xbox. Instead of talking about Starfield has come and gone. Focus on your own platform. This is some actually advice for you. Focus on your own platform, because if you don't, there won't be a PlayStation for you. If the fan base doesn't start holding them accountable and you keep applauding every decision they make, you won't have a platform. Now, I'll say this, although I believe some of the criticisms that Xbox received were unwarranted and over out of control, at least Xbox people talk to Phil. Their executives talk back to the customer base, and together they worked out things that Xbox need to do to move forward. This much I know. Phil listens all the time to the customer base, and not just him, others too. So Alan Greenberg is one. People have talked to him before, had good conversations with him. I'm not sure about Sarah Bond, but I know Phil Spencer has done it. So this is what they need to do, and they can live with their head in the sky all day long, but nothing's changing the fact that the company is in duress. It doesn't have a bright future ahead of it, and I really think you guys need to start holding them accountable. That's not Xbox's job to do that, and it certainly isn't ours. So I just wanted to get that out. Now, as for what's happening with Bungie and stuff being delayed, I told you a year or two. I may not have said that here. I'm sorry. I might have said that on Dirt's channel. A year or two, Bungie's out of there. But Bungie is not married to anybody anyway. And this is the reason why. And this is again, if you guys want to know why Phil Spencer is a good CEO, a good head, a good lead, he saw the writing on the wall with Bungie ahead of time. He knew enough to not marry Bungie because Bungie is for the streets. Everybody knows this. Anybody in the gaming industry knows this. What the heck was Jim Ryan thinking by acquiring Bungie? He could have just paid them to be consultants instead of, locking them down. Why do that when Bungie is just the type of company that will want to unhinge from you? So I don't understand that. Bungie is absolutely getting out of there now that you see in their games and all that stuff being delayed. They can't possibly like that, and they cannot possibly like these layoffs. And I will say this, not just for Bungie, but for the other companies that have been shut down by PlayStation or laid off, because nobody's talking about all of this. Not just executives are being laid off, but even the developers. I feel bad for all these people because it just feels like there's no loyalty there in that organization. This woman worked for PlayStation for 34 years, has been given awards for all her hard work. And even if they didn't like the direction that she was taking things, they could have sat down and talked with her, I gotta believe. But to just kick her out like that, and then we learned that Sean Layton also was treated like that. I've never heard not a single story where Microsoft treated their executives and stuff in that way. I've never heard of a story like that. So I'm putting this way. What is this head like? This title tells you if you're a developer or if you are an executive, would you want to work for PlayStation? Right now, in the environment that we're in, would you want to work for PlayStation? I sure wouldn't.
The devs aren't happy. Let me see if I got the article yet. No. Well, there was here it is. So here it is, Daya. So PlayStation Studios reportedly struggle with live service pivot, and pretty much the devs at these companies, they don't want to make these live service
They
games,
don't. Yeah.
because their specialty are in those cinematic single player games, and it kind of put Sony in a catch 22, Daya. That I want to ask you about where what is Sony like? Sony's end game is to make money. It is that, I mean, that's the end game of every business, right? But the
Yep.
path to being profitable Sony wants to take is not what the people that works for them wants. And here's the thing about creative people. Creative people want to put their vision out there. And it's clear that after 20, 30 years of this,
Hmm.
20 years of this, I should say, a lot of these creatives under Sony, they don't want to do live service games.
They don't.
They don't want to make a Halo killer, which, I mean, it's never going to happen, but you
No.
get my point when I say Halo killer,
Hmm.
right? And Kenneth Williams says Sony was never prepared for this when it first happened. The future is not bright. Yeah,
No.
excellent comment there, Kenneth.
Yep.
I had to bring that up. But Dave, while you're around, let me ask you this. So what's Sony's end game here, Daya? Because their studios aren't happy. They got layoffs.
Hmm.
They're releasing long-term employees.
Yep.
You know, Jim Ryan ups and quits or gets fired, however, whichever side of the road you believe.
Yep.
So, Daya, what's Sony's big? Because we know, you could say this about Phil Spencer, right, Daya?
Hmm.
We know Xbox vision under Phil,
Right.
and if you're not bought in, you're never going to be bought in on it. And if you are bought in, you loving what's going on right now, right? But
Hmm.
what's the big end game? What's the big Sony vision anymore?
Honestly, it's survival. And from what I'm hearing in the streets, if this is true, and I had heard this a little bit from Dirt and Sean's channel, you know, that Sony is now doubling down back on single player because that's what they know. And also, I've been hearing in the streets, if you will, rumor mill, that the a lot, you know, this whole thing with Bungie telling Naughty Dog what to do did not go well with Naughty Dog, and Naughty Dog being their number one studio had something to say to the leadership there. As a result, Bungie is not doing too good over there. I put it this way: Naughty Dog probably wielded some of their power over there, and so they are going to dictate pretty much. We don't want to do live service games.
Right.
They may, if they're lucky, want to do multiplayer or co-op or something, but they're flat out saying they don't want to do multiplayer games. A lot of the studios over there have said that. And here's the problem with that is that unless Sony is prepared to acquire, if they do not get these studios to make something, at least multiplayer, and be good at it, they're in some serious trouble.
All right.
I don't think that single player games is going to do it for them. Number one, at the level that they do it, it costs way too much money. Also, it takes too long. And you know, Sony also said they're going to double down on temporary exclusive content with partners. I guess you know. I don't know if you had that article, but that's something. You have that article, yeah.
Hold on, let me pull that one up as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, let me add to that. As you see on screen, they not only that they're AAA exclusive. They confirm are not profitable. Remember, they spent over $200 million on Horizon Forbidden Entertainment alone, a game that took 5 years to develop, right? And by the way, that amount is pretty much how much all their big AAA games are that expensive, right? Because that's the culture of today's gaming landscape with these big games. They're all super expensive to make. So, but what we're finding out, Daya, is that they're not selling enough to make a profit, which is why they invested again at the beginning of the generation $329 million on paying for games off Xbox, basically.
Yep, that pretty much.
Now let me find that article you were saying a minute ago about Sony is going to double down on third party. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, see, Coco Fiend at 719 just said it. Sony said they gonna continue signing third party exclusive deals. But I don't know how much that is going to work because the industry can't deny Xbox anymore. And Coco, do you think Xbox is going to care at this rate? And they're not done. You just heard from Satya that they said they're going to double down. So what does that mean? They're going to still acquire. Microsoft almost, it's almost to the point that I say almost. If they get the studios I think they're going to get, they will be at this point. They're
Mhm.
almost to a point where they won't need any third parties at
I,
all because they're going to be coming out with a AAA every
mhm.
quarter. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like Coco Fiend. I think, I think they're just going to buy whatever company Sony pays for off Xbox is going to be their next acquisition. Because Sony was going to pay for Starfield off Xbox. They bought
Yeah,
Bethesda. Sony had that Call of Duty deal for a decade. They bought Activision. What else?
that's true.
Who else is next? Listen, the people who say Square Enix is next, you might be right. Feels like, you know what? I'm tired of Final Fantasy not
Yeah.
being on Xbox. Let's just buy the company.
And they're looking in Japan too. And that's a
Oh,
that's a struggling company. They better, you
mm,
know what, Sony better be real careful about how they deal with Xbox moving forward. But I just say this, that let's say they're, Microsoft really wants the game bad. Let's say it was a Baldur's 3 situation, right? Microsoft would just outbid them. They don't care because they got the revenue now. If they really wanted that game, right? Say Sony came up with that contract. Now people are seeing that Microsoft may not be as big as far as have sold as many consoles as PlayStation, but it doesn't matter. They get more engagement, right? So
right.
this is facts. This is not negotiable. So if that's the case, Microsoft can bargain from that position along with all the big heavy hitters they have. They're going to have COD and all that, and they can argue, hey, we're going to bring a lot of people into our site, even though the game is multiplayer,
Yep.
because it's going to be in Game Pass. So they look far more attractive than Sony does. I don't care how many consoles they've sold. They look way more attractive. So if Microsoft wanted to, and they were bidding, and Microsoft, we really want this game on our platform. We're not willing to wait until Sony pays 2 years or something like that. We'll outbid them, and they can do that because the amount of revenue they're not going to be getting from King and COD and all this stuff. They're going to have so much money rolling in. They got more than enough, and they already have the money on reserves for the acquisitions. That money doesn't even have to go towards the acquisitions. Because Microsoft had already set that money aside for Microsoft. So they still got that money for the acquisitions. Nothing's ever changed there. So they're getting all this extra revenue coming in. It's crazy. People don't understand what monster the closing ABK has turned Xbox into. It's a monster. Okay, let me see what you got here. Is that it? Unlimited? Let's see. What's it delayed to 2025? No, that can't be it. Unlimited,
No,
are you there?
yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, no. No, you're absolutely right about Xbox being this monster, this unstoppable force, and being that far ahead of Sony. It's just is what it is. Remake Station 5 said the media pretend all is well with Sony without
Yep.
giving them the criticism they need. Still quiet about it. By the way, I can't find that article
Oh,
about
you
them
can't. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, about them
Okay.
doubling down.
Yeah.
But David Cohen also said this whole console generation for PlayStation was built on the notion that Sony believed in console generations and Pony fell for more than the light lie. They believed Jim's lies, they weren't true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, how many times has Sony been caught in a lie? The PlayStation 3, let's not forget, David Cohen. The PlayStation 3 was supposed to do 120 frames per second. The lies with the Killzone footage that Sony eventually had to apologize for when it turned out the actual game wasn't nearly as good looking as that. We believe in generations. Hell, the lie they told about how the Bungie acquisition won't lead to layoffs. I mean, this is like the PlayStation problem is not an overnight solution, and really it's starting to look more and more like it's not a problem they just can't figure out at all.
No. And I will add this, if it's true. I haven't seen the article, but if it's true that they're going to double down on that single player format, consider Sony dead. Consider them dead, because that means they yield to Xbox for being a multiplayer platform. So that means first person shooters and all this stuff. You're going to get that over here, not over there, unless it's a third party. That's not a good place to be.
Right. Yeah. And and to add to that, they pretty much pretty much, and this is why I titled it, "It's time to admit that Sony is in disarray." That title is really going to be towards the people who come through. This is really, that one's targeted toward the media who after a moment like this, they try to they're trying to do the sympathy card. And don't get me wrong, like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm never gonna make fun of people who lost their jobs,
losing their jobs.
Yeah, that ain't how I work. What I am going to do though is call out Sony for keep running these companies to the ground.
Yes.
And the thing about layoffs is that, yeah, they happen, but there's a difference between layoffs that was happening at big tech earlier this year, where they overhired during the pandemic and then released a lot of people that they didn't need anymore, versus what we're seeing with Sony, who there's clear inner turmoil. Like the stuff that's going on at Sony right now, Daya, is what people pretend is the mismanagement Phil has with Xbox. No, right. Phil didn't mismanage Arcane by letting them release a game they wanted to make. That's nonsense. But PlayStation was literally trying to force Daya, their studios, to do these live service games that they're not good at. They don't want to make, and they already built a culture on people who just want that single player experience. So it's not going to work, because they listen. The worst thing that happened to Sony was their success last generation, Daya, because it's clear that they learned nothing from that generation.
Nothing. And another thing I'll add to with the Naughty Dog thing, and which is what I believe took place over there with the Bungie situation. They were ticked off, and they definitely got their revenge. I would say that this isn't good for Naughty Dog and those other studios, whether it's Insomniac and all the others, because to move forward into the future, they're going to have to become a studio that can do all three things. They're going to have to be able to do single player, multiplayer, and possibly gas, because that's where the entire industry. Now, let's say gas is something that might die down some. They at least need to do multiplayer. They at least need to do that. They're going to have some monetary structure with their games, and they have to be familiar with all of that. They also need to learn how to port to PC. This is something they're going to have to learn. And by Naughty Dog and the other studios resisting this, I think it's not good for them, because in my opinion, I have stood on this and I argue anybody to the ground on this one. Microsoft has the better studios. They're far more talented. They can do a lot more with one single game, or IP. They know how to, if you need a gas game. Well, right now we know their studios learning it. We know that's why Halo Infinite had its hiccup, because 343, that was their first going at a gas game. And now that they're getting the hang of it, I said give 343 about a year, and they will elevate that IP to the top. They need to figure out how to work out gas. All studios do when they do it for the first time. I don't care how good they think they are. But now that they found their cadence, look how people are coming back in droves, and look how they're talking about nothing but good things about. And I've heard people say, who had left Halo, that, and I know I'm bringing up Halo, but it's a great example of a gas game. Okay, yes. That they think this is the greatest Halo multiplayer they've ever played. This is what I'm starting to hear. Okay, so Microsoft stuck it out, not just with them, but with Sea of Thieves is still charting. This game is, I mean, it must be a magical spell that Rare is doing on people with that game, because it's still charting. I mean, you hear that Forza Horizon 5, yes, that is a gas game, people. It continues to update, giving you new tracks, giving you new cars. It is under the model of a gas game. It has now reached, 35 million, 33 million, something like that. For Forza Horizon 5, Microsoft knows how to do it, and they understand that you have to stick it out. They understand you can't just abandon it, right? Yeah. But what they're also doing is they're teaching their studios and expanding the skill set of their studios. So for the ones that didn't know how to do it, at one time 343 didn't. Now they do. The next is going to be Gears. They will too, if they haven't already been doing it. All of their studios is going to be multifaceted like that. I guarantee you that. They will know how to port to PC. They will know how to make a single player, a multiplayer, and a gas game out of any IP. Yeah. That's what Xbox is doing. So they're going to have, in my opinion, the superior studios. Okay.
Yeah, I think they already have the superior studios personally, but
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
completely get what you're saying, Dea, and I'm with you 100% there. That listen, that's why it was good. Xbox didn't abandon State of Decay 2 or Sea of Thieves or any of them other games that got a lot of hate, and they stuck with it. They saw the numbers that these games are actually quite successful, and then they somehow turned Sea of Thieves into a mega hit for the company and
Yeah,
for the Xbox brand. I
yeah,
mean, listen, I get it. I get it as someone who don't play Sea of Thieves, that during showcases you sometimes don't want to see it. But a game that has like 35 million players is going to be there for a reason,
right,
right? It's
right.
going to be on these showcases for a good reason and well deserved reason, you know. And same, so yeah, Xbox. Listen, Xbox saw the trend that gamers have been making pretty much damn near since day one, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Gears has been a gas game since 2019.
Oh,
Um,
oh, it has. Oh, okay. I
yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
that.
It- but they pretty much saw the trend gamers were going since day one of the Xbox brand. That's why even back then they were so hyper focused on online play and connected play. But since Phil took over, they really hit this stride of okay, this game, you release this game, best game in Rare history, best game in
Yep.
Starfield, but that's this history, best
Yeah,
game,
Bethesda's.
and
Yeah.
yeah, best Halo, fastest Halo release ever, and best Forza release ever, 300% increase for the previous
Mm-hmm.
Forza and stuff
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
And so they know what is getting to the gamers, especially the Xbox community, what to create these mass successes. Sony, however, they don't understand that you see the reason why Xbox games work is because we get like last few generations we got like one Halo generation, two Gears last generation.
Right.
Forza is really the only series that kind of gets constant releases on Xbox, and even then, so far we've only had one Horizon and one Motorsport 3 years in.
Now, isn't Motorsport now a gas design game now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, but so Dea, so Xbox, so with Xbox, you don't, yeah. The reason why Halo, Gears, and Forza work is because we only got like one or two of them right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, meanwhile, Sony, they released Spider-Man in 2018, resell the remaster in 2020, give you Miles Morales the same year, give you Spider-Man 2 now, right? They literally resold The Last of Us 3 generations in a row. And there's rumors they're going to do Last of Us 2 remaster for some reason. Hell, 80% of the PlayStation library right now is just resold old games. So
Right.
there's a so of course their game's not going to be profitable when they experience the same thing over and over. Excuse me. On Xbox, thanks to Game Pass alone, you don't get that, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
Exactly.
buy and take two would be awesome, Dark Reven.
Mm-hmm.
But just on Game Pass, but with their first party lineup now, in a year where we got Forza, Hi-Fi Rush, Redfall, Starfield, all of them were fantastic.
Yes.
All two two of my top three games this year are Starfield and Hi-Fi Rush.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Same.
how that's how
Yeah.
spectacular this game has been.
Redfall too for the atmosphere and stuff like. I get the gameplay wasn't smooth, but the atmosphere, like
Hmm.
I still remember hearing these vampires talking like they're talking in your ear, but they're not near you. And it's just it was how creepy that was. I thought that was so good too. But you're right, Hi-Fi Rush, in my opinion, is a perfect game.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a single flaw with that game. And Starfield, for that experience, for that amount of gameplay, and nobody, and just listening to other people's stories about how their games went, it was so different. Some of them sound like movies. I think I think it was oh man, who somebody told their story, and I was like, man, I want to hear more. I can't remember who's it. Fuzzy's story, man. He had one of the most dynamic gameplays I've ever heard in a Starfield game. I was like, oh my god, I would watch that. I would pay to watch that. It sounded like an action movie or something. So that's how unique that gameplay is, and that's not it. And also, just to remind people, Bethesda did, Todd, I think, might have said this. Bethesda did announce that they're going to be supporting Starfield for 5 years. So how do you think they're going to do that? They're not going to twiddle their thumbs with that. They're going to be coming out with content. So even single
Hmm.
player games under Microsoft will have long legs. And I forgive me for the person who have said this. I would name them. I think it's KD something. I can't remember his name, but he said that he likes to think of Xbox games as living games, and I thought that was the most brilliant idea I ever heard. They are living games. That means that they're birthed and then they go on to live a long life and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being supported for a long time. And then even when they're no longer supported, they go on to live in Game Pass. They are like living games, right? And I thought that was I love that title, and that's kind of how I look at Xbox games. They go on, they have a lot, they have a life of their own, and that's why you see things like a Sea of Thieves, you know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Daya. Dr. Vaca said Sony multiplayer better not hit PC day and date. PC will kill them.
Oh
Yeah, that's
yeah.
already happening. That game Marathon that's been delayed from Bungie, that was going to the Xbox PC and PlayStation 5. And they were also going to do more day one PC releases with any multiplayer style games. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so Doc Vaca, that was going to happen regardless, man. And yeah, Zink. Xbox studios are far greater than Sony's. Oh yeah, 100%. And it's almost hard to debate at this point, unless you're just one of them Spider-Man fans who sleep in a Spider-Man onesie during bedtime now, because their game. Listen, swinging through New York City for the third time in 5 years is just not that interesting compared to what Xbox got going on. And you'll never, even a big superhero fan like me, you'll never convince me otherwise. Let's see. Halo 5 was kind of a gas game and had loot boxes that funded the Halo Championship.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Um, Sony bought a State of Decay 2
To
support
support
studio.
studio. I did
Oh,
not
what
know
studio
that.
was that? Was that Vodka?
Yeah, Vaca's like he's like librarian number two. You got Hebot and then you got Vaca.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm excited to see where Starfield DLC goes. Yeah, I think it's going to be
Mm,
great stuff, and it's
yeah.
going to be another massive. It's going to be the way that fit. I think it's going to be like how Phantom Liberty was this big expansion
Yes.
for Cyberpunk.
Yes, and I can attest, just to let you guys know, from Skyrim, that their DLC, their added content was always fantastic. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Faded Blaze said, "Hey, Unlimited. You forgot to mention Microsoft milestone sale of over 300 million copies of Minecraft. Oh, that's right. That's
Oh
right.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best-selling game ever for a reason. Faded Blaze.
Hmm.
You know, whatever nerve Minecraft hit in gamers or non-gamers or whoever this main target is, kids. It really is a monster. And again, another brilliant move by Microsoft to swoop them up when they did. And I remember when Microsoft picked up Mojang, and there's this feeling of, oh, but they're going to take it from PlayStation. No, they didn't. And it was smart to not do that, because I am very confident, Faded Blaze and Daya and Zink and everybody in the chat, I'm very
Hmm.
confident that games like Minecraft, Halo, soon to be Call of Duty, is funding a lot of these acquisitions. Because if I
Yes.
remember correctly, a lot of the purchases they made were from Xbox money, not Microsoft. If you know what I'm trying to say there.
Hmm. Yep.
Mixo said, "Forget the COVID lockdowns. We have in Gears Championship." I wonder how Motorsport and Horizon will work as far as live service. There aren't any microtransactions at all in neither. Hey man, I mean, these games have still been massive successes, and let's not forget, Shizno, a lot of people on both games paid for the early access copies, which were like $100 before
Sure
release.
did.
So,
And you
so
get extra content with it,
yeah,
by the
so
way.
let's not sit here, Shizno, and think that those games don't listen. There's a reason why Forza Motorsport 8, well, Motorsport technically is an 8, but was the eighth in the series, and Horizon is fifth in its series.
Yeah.
They're majorly successful for a reason.
Also, just to let you know about motorsport, I can tell you about Forza Horizon 5 does it through cars and in new locations, and motorsport does it with tracks and cars. So
Hmm.
that's how they do it. They monetize those things and continue to add to that. And by the way, cars take licenses, so some of the money goes towards that to be able to acquire certain cars for licenses.
Yeah, as Zink said, agreed. There, I think Redfall. I think about Redfall every day. Can't wait to go back into it after more Forza Motorsport and Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Look, man. Listen, later at the end of the year, Zink. I'm telling you guys, I'll be working on my top 10 games of this year, and every major Xbox release is going to be on that list somewhere, including Redfall. Listen.
Awesome.
look, the way I treat Redfall now is the way I was treating State of Decay 2 back in 2018, where it's a game that I love, and I am not putting up with slander, about that game. Now, personally, I enjoy State of Decay 2 more than Redfall overall, but that's just my
I've
opinion.
never played State of Decay 2.
It is addicting. Today, I was so addicted to that damn game. Even when I lost the leader of my crew because my damn controller died. And she died, and she blew up and died, and I had to, and the whole camp morale was low because their leader died, and I had to pretty much rebuild everything and regain the morale of the group. Man, that game was so fantastic.
That sounds funny.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that damn game. But yeah, let me get back on topic here about Bungie. Pretty much everything going on with Sony. So like Sony's disarray day in chat. It's all it's all a combination. Everything just coming together, right? It's not just the Bungie layoffs and the marathon delay. It's that they got no games coming next year.
No, they got a bleak year, I believe, in 2020.
Yeah, that looks even worse than this year, because at least they had Spider-Man on to look forward to. It's the fact that their studios are struggling with live services. It's the fact that Connie Booth is fired, Jim Ryan leaves. Their games aren't profitable. And despite spending millions upon millions on third-party studios or games, to be off Xbox, they've proven to not be successful. So the point of Sony being disarray, to my opinion, is that everything is just spiraling down for them in a way that if this was Xbox, it'll be talked about nonstop.
Yes,
easily nonstop, right? But and that's my thing. So my thing is going to be okay. How about this? While the rest of the gaming media is going to, lightly talk about it and never like they're not going to connect the dots the way I did. That's why I put everything on screen. I am, and when I'm connecting the dots, I am not seeing a successful company. Hell, this is barely seeing like a company that's in a rebuild or restructuring, if you will.
Right.
This is a company that's just flatlining at this point. No momentum, no hype, nothing exciting coming in the near future. Spider-Man praise has come and gone. They're back to talking about Xbox after a week of that game being out.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking at here, I'm just seeing failure after failure after failure, and what is easily their worst year in company history.
I agree, and honestly, because we see no roadmap, and what I see as far as what they've done throughout this generation, they've wasted a lot of money with the PSVR, and which is a dead peripheral. If you ask me,
another failure this year. Thank you.
And that little handheld thing, what's that called? The Portal or something? Those things are going to fail if they haven't already. So that's a waste of money, and money that could have went into investing into mobile, building out their infrastructure, and Sony is in a bad place right now. And it's not like the Sony half of the company, the other half, not the gaming half, is doing all that great either. That side is not doing that great either. So all I can say is that they're in a bad place, and I just, in my opinion, they're the type of company that Microsoft would acquire.
Yeah,
that's what they look like right now.
Oh, Sony?
Yeah, that's the type of company Microsoft would try to acquire, because they go after troubled companies like that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're
Bethesda wasn't in trouble. They just flat out. Phil bought Bethesda out of spite. When it came out that they bought it because they found out Sony was trying to get Starfield off Xbox. He bought that company out of spite, right? So he was already friends with Todd Howard and them, and he was like, screw this. He was sick of. Listen. One thing I enjoyed about all this is getting that other side of Phil Spencer. Yeah. Because people really only see public nice guy Phil, so it's so nice to hear stuff about how Starfield was the reason he was like, screw this, He
Yep.
opened the wallet, bought Bethesda, and now we got one of the best games of the year was only
Hmm.
on Xbox ecosystem, basically.
Him and Hitman Matt, man, those two are dangerous behind the scenes. Oh man.
Yeah. Coco Fiend again. He said, "Did anyone ever cover how much Xbox made by simply fixing the old COD servers?" Oh, that's right, turning on the
Oh
old
yeah, a
Call of
lot
Duty
of people
servers.
bought those games, man.
Yeah, Sony was SOL because of the fact they don't have backwards compatibility. Yeah, we did talk about that back when it first happened about a month ago, or yeah, I think it was about a month ago. Coco Fiend, and the all them games had these massive boosts in player bases and stuff. Brilliant tactical move by Xbox
It
with that one
was.
too.
Yeah. They
You
they
know,
drew a lot of attention too at that time.
yeah, and for good reason. For good
Yeah.
reason. Listen, uh, it's kind of funny. As an Xbox fan, I'm not my favorite of like their super popular IPs is Gears. Love Gears, but I'm not a COD fan. I'm not a Minecraft
I'm
fan.
not
But
either.
damn it, do I appreciate how great those games are doing to bolster the Xbox library.
Exactly. They're funding other stuff. Because Minecraft's been out forever. I do have Minecraft. I used to play that with a bunch of friends. You can build in there and do different things. It's a fun game, a little
Mhm.
casual game. But it's really good for younger people. It's good when you got kids. And I remember I used to get on. I had friends that streamed, and then they would do little things like because they had a younger audience. So it's great for that. And those games, Minecraft, COD, now Candy Crush and all those, they're funding. I'll put it this way: if people keep running around saying that Xbox is going to die in 2027, that just ended it. And not that it was ever going to happen, but that absolutely has put that to an end because they got more money, in my opinion, coming now than they know what to do with.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. And man, this gem, Sony spending $1.2 billion to prevent Bungie developers from leaving following the acquisition. And what's funny about a headline like that when it first happened was I remember everybody praising Sony. Oh, see how much they care about the devs.
Yeah.
This is why I want Sony to buy. But this is why they're saying that this is bigger than the Activision deal. Oh, it was hilarious.
Yeah,
They,
the delusion that the Sonys are going through is, they can only stay in that for so long. But that, like I told that other guy, keep acting like that if you want to, but you're destroying your own platform. That's all that's doing. Making excuses for them is destroying them. And look at what you're showing here. That they feel Sony feels like, and some, I don't know who said this. They act like they're the Apple of gaming and stuff. They're not. If anybody, I would say that would be Nintendo.
yeah.
Closer to that, I guess. Not that they are 100% because their tech is so far
Yeah.
behind, but their games are good. But I would say that that's maybe that mentality is in the executives too. They think that is nothing they can do wrong, that they done bought enough of the media and all this stuff that they can just get away with any and everything. But I'm telling you, unless they can handle and deal with Microsoft, they won't, and they can't do anything about Microsoft.
Nope. Yeah, if you ask me, Sony's the Nokia of gaming. They were hot in the 2000s. Nobody cares about them now, and just like Nokia, they're going to end up bought by Microsoft in the end.
Yep. Yep.
How does that sound to you? Xbox makes the best games. To me, their games just click with me. Oh, same here, Shizno. That's 100% why I'm an Xbox gamer primarily.
I like the variety.
Yeah, same here. Vodka said, State of K2 is so addictive. I try to avoid it, not get sucked in. Yeah, man.
It's like crack.
Yeah, yeah. Man, that gameplay, the gameplay is excellent. The game is just so freaking fun. I swear, building, meeting new people and helping them out and building, try to build your own team and stuff like that. It's spectacular.
Oh wow.
It said PlayStation Plus is the best value in gaming, right, Zinc? And obviously, Ramo's being sarcastic.
I
there.
see, Rambo.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Redfall does have 2 new characters in DLC.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, 2 new characters. Yeah.
Yep, and that game is going to have another boost, like it did with the 60 frames per second
Yes.
update.
Yeah, especially when they get that DLC and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Snooky Jackson said, "Quantum Error is a big flop. Much that Sony SSD payback is a B." Yeah, I got to be honest with you, man. I don't even think I ever heard of Quantum Era until
I
today.
never did.
The,
Yeah,
the
so
chat, the chat is talking about it quite a bit. They mentioned it like 6 times already. I got to look that.
what's going on with
I
that
gotta look.
studio?
I gotta look that up, man. It's it's a game, and it looks like it's a terrible game on PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know what it is. I
I
couldn't
don't
tell
either.
you. I got that's some. Listen, guys, about Quantum Era, I'm gonna look it up after the show because I don't know what that game is.
I don't either. I'm sorry. I don't even
But
know.
it must be terrible because the chat have brought it up numerous times, man. Zink said Bethesda was in a little financial trouble. Oh, probably more than I'm realizing. But I still listen. I still think Phil bought that out of spite, Zink.
I do too.
Listen, from what we learned from the world's greatest country, Brazil, and the Federal Trade Commission in San Francisco, Phil got that dug in him, man, and he's got a team that got that fight in him. Matt Booty saying that we could spin Sony out of the business. I mean, yo, listen, Godfather Phil, man, he at the head of the table for a reason now.
Godfather Phil.
Yeah, and listen, props to Phil because he at the head of Xbox. He brought his people up. He made Sarah Bond the president of Xbox games, and Matt Booty's the president of I think Bethesda or Activision, one of those two, or maybe both. Hey, he said, hey, I'm getting up. I'm bringing my peoples up with me too, and he made sure to give them better position up there, man. Much respect to Phil for that.
Can I address something from Box? It's at 750.
Mm-hmm.
Young Pony said Redfall is not saved game. In other words, I guess the update couldn't save it. First off, Box, just a word of advice. I can't tell you what to do or how to think. Never take into account a PlayStation fanboy's point of view with an Xbox game. They don't understand those games. Most of them only ever play first person over the shoulder stuff. Young is one of them people who thought Death Stranding was the next coming. So, just letting you know, no offense, but even if people here like Death Stranding, that was not the next coming. So the reason why I say that, because a lot of them don't even understand why we play on Xbox. They don't understand it. So they can't possibly tell you why a game can be good. And by the way, Young be the same person to tell you that Spider-Man 2 is game of the year. Yet that game had more bugs than Redfall. In my opinion. I mean, in my opinion, based on what I saw.
So, look who found his way in.
Look at that. You all late, waiting time getting out of here. What's wrong with
you?
You know what?
Yeah, hold on, Zink. Before you go, Daya's got a point, because anytime she late, you call her out immediately. Nah, Zink, we gotta call him out today. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was kind of trying to pull a little bit of an E-Rock. My mother got in the way, but that's no excuse. I need to be
your mom
here.
gets the pass, but not you, though.
100%. I agree 100%. And Dia just want to get out of here because the world champion, soon to be Detroit Lions, are about to play. But y'all on fire tonight, man. I just wanted to jump in real quick because people are afraid to come at David Jaffe. I got all the smoke for this dude. He talked about Connie Booth and how great she was. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something, and they listed her credentials. Yeah. Here's the thing that people fail to understand. Okay. When you're building something, you must have a foundation. Sony had zero foundation. People want to complain about Halo, Gears, Forza. That's all we have. And it was really Halo, Gears, Forza, and Xbox Live. Then Phil Spencer and Microsoft purchased Gears, I think in 2013, 2014. Then they bought Minecraft. But before all of that, they bought Havoc. Before all of that, they bought a piece of the DVD empire, because they bought this one company that had shares in DVD. So they were closing Sony off. Then they built, how long do you guys think it takes to put server racks on 7 continents? All of these things are a building process that people didn't see. It's like what Dia said months ago when she said it's like a tidal wave. You don't see it until it's too late. Now that tidal wave is about 100 feet tall, and it's about to crash right in Sony's freaking face. And we see the fallout. And Ramo, I saw his garbage ass in the chat. Now I don't have to worry about him calling me at 4 o'clock in the morning. Hey, is Sony out of business yet? Hey, it's coming. you know.
Yeah,
And
it's coming at this rate.
back to that chump David Jaffe real quick. He praised Connie Booth. How about this? Here's what Connie Booth failed at in 34 years. Let's bring up Unlimited's favorite company, Halo. Connie Booth has been there for 34 years. Bonnie Ross has been there about 29 years. Tell me when Connie Booth found the Halo killer. She had 23 years to find the Halo killer, couldn't do it. He said Connie Booth was the one that brought out Spider-Man. Yeah, we looking at buggy ass Spider-Man. We looking at Uncharted that never got past Gears. It still can't doesn't have campaign co-op. Where's factions at, Connie? I thought she operated with such precision. Didn't Unlimited's favorite game, Horizon Forbidden Entertainment, that released buggy. Days Gone released buggy.
Yeah, it did. It was actually pretty bad on that game. Yeah.
Gran Turismo released a
Buggy.
shell of
Yeah.
itself. So what did Connie Booth do again? Why do we need her at Microsoft? We don't. We don't need her. But anyway, man, y'all having a great show. I'm gonna fall back and listen in. I'll talk to y'all later.
Excellent stuff there, Zink.
Thank you,
Excellent
Zink.
stuff. Yeah.
I also don't think that Microsoft would necessarily get her, because I heard that this woman's in her 60s, and I think if they were going to invest in somebody who can kind of work with the other teams and grow with them and grow with Xbox, I think they're going to want somebody younger anyway.
Yeah. I didn't even know people were calling for her to be hired by Xbox.
I think Jaffe wants Microsoft to save her, and you know, I don't trust Jaffe I'm not saying that what he's saying is wrong, but I just think he cares about her. I don't think he's looking at what's good for Microsoft. So so you know, I think that's my opinion. That's the impression I get, that when he was trying to say, well, Microsoft would be good to get her, I just think he's trying to save her, you know, like get her a place where she would probably, you know, be taken well care of, because I think everybody knows that Microsoft does really well by the employees. So I think that's what he was doing, almost advertising a job for her. But I'm not saying she isn't qualified. I know what Zink is saying. Like, let Microsoft could get her for the single player stuff, I guess, whatever she did or something. I don't know. But the point is, I don't think they need to. I think there's enough talent out there,
we just had the biggest single player game this year in Starfield. We get single player Avowed, Fable. I mean, the single player lineup, High Five Rush, a single player game. The single player lineup at Xbox is fine. Hell, it's excellent right now, if you ask me. So
exactly.
It's you know, it's not, she's. Listen, lady, if she's in her 60s, just enjoy retirement.
That's what I say.
Yeah. If you've been at Sony for 34 years, you have to have cash stacked up for retirement. So just enjoy retirement, lady.
And I would much rather Xbox have a younger person that can grow with the team, so that one day when Sarah Bond, at least that's my hope, takes over for Phil when he retires, then they all have been, because Microsoft is good at that, having employees that have worked years for them. Okay, so I would much rather them have a young, they don't have to be super young, but I'm saying younger than her, you know, not ready for retirement and stuff, but you know, younger, so that that person can grow along with the rest of the team, and you know, just be able to stay there long enough for it to matter. You know, that's what I would prefer.
I'm with you there. You know, to me, let's look right now. You got a good thing going. No need to rock the cradle or do anything. While you know, just hire who you think fits your vision for Xbox in that brand. That's really all you got to do right now, because they're just on all cylinders. You know, Faded Blaze said Unlimited Production months ago. The developers of Quantum Error were console warring, kissing up the Sony and bashing the Series S. Okay. So now the game releasing and it's bad. Okay, I got you. Coco Fiend said Xbox didn't just give up on Redfall. Its future's looking brighter than the failed games Sony just gave up on. Yeah, exactly.
Excellent point, Coco Fiend. That's what we said. Xbox doesn't give up on their games.
You know, and people were crying for a long time. Where's the 60 frame per second? You got that. The new content's coming soon enough. And by the way, Arcade's going to be working on their next game as well.
They're already doing it. Yeah, they got a smaller team that's supporting it, Redfall, while they move on to the next game. They ain't wasting no time.
Yeah.
So
please be Dishonored 3. Please be Dishonored 3.
Everybody was saying that. So personally, if the other Arcane team is doing Dishonored, then I hope they pick up Prey. the next Prey. That was a pretty good game, I thought.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
I got a good friend that really loved Prey.
Yeah, it was a good game. I thought it was.
Ramos said, "I'll pull Microsoft billion franchise against Sony any day of the week." Oh wait, Sony only had one. Yeah, and Phil confirmed that Xbox has 13.
13. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So 13-1. Hell, that one might not even be $1 billion franchise anymore. I mean,
you don't think so?
I think that one franchise is the racing game, Gran Turismo.
It's Gran Turismo.
Yeah,
right.
and that game's so desperate for money, they got to sell fake car parts to you as DLC. pay $5 for a carburetor.
What?
No, that's a joke. That's not that didn't really happen.
Say, like, my God, I never played this, so
they ain't out here really selling catalytic converters and shit.
Oh man. All right, I'm gonna have to go. Is there any last question you have for me before I head out of here? Anything you want me to address?
No. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, because this is just a spare of the moment show after today's news I saw while working. Matter of fact, now that you're here, let me get Tuck in here. Hey, Tuck, I'm gonna send you a link, man. Let me get
Tuck,
you.
I missed you. Wait, I'm leaving. I'm not gonna be able to stay around.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so anyway, everyone in the chat, I saw when you said your hellos. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to type it. Hello to everybody in the chat. You guys know I love you. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the podcast. I guess Unlimited, you will do one for your regular podcast soon, So I'll be on that fully, It's just right. Mondays is a different thing.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Daya, we'll talk to you later.
All right, see you everyone. Bye.
All right, bye. David Cohen said, the Lego Marvel superhero games are what the Spider-Man games. It makes me wonder, where's that Lego Spider-Man game? Imagine a Lego Spider-Man game from Xbox Series X, since TT games are known for multiplats. Yeah, I guess that'll be cool. My thing with Spider-Man, David Cohen, and like at this point, if I want to play Spider-Man, I'd rather just do it in like an Avengers game or a Marvel team-up game like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, because I'm sick of Spider-Man in New York City. And that's the only place he could really be in most of the games. But hey, Tuckmaster, man, what's up?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So let me get you up to speed, right? So today it came out, Tuck, that Bungie. You remember when Sony purchased Bungie, right, for like $3 billion?
Right.
Well, when that first happened, they spent 1.2 billion to prevent developers from leaving, right? And they were also, and Bungie leadership also told employees that the deal would not result in layoffs. Well, lo and behold, a year later, Tuck, there are massive layoffs at Bungie. It caused a Sony game Marathon to be delayed, and
wow.
my thing is that it's time to just admit that Sony right now is in disarray. I mean, just in the last. Listen, not just the layoffs. PlayStation VR only sold 600,000 units.
How many?
600,000.
Is that all?
Yeah, for PlayStation VR 2.
So we talk about 600,000 from way back. What?
I think released in like February this year or January.
So that means it only sold 600,000 from what? From February to what? May?
No, it's October.
But we were talking about 600,000 way back then.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. So to May. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
So you mean tell me that doggone thing's still not selling?
Nope.
Well, we told people that. So hell.
Yeah, and not only that, the PlayStation Studios, they're struggling with the live service games. We see that Jim Ryan and Connie Booth are fired from Sony. So my thing, Tuck, is that at what point, Tuck, does the gaming world need to admit when there's smoke, there's fire, and that Sony is just in disarray right now?
Man, regardless of what we say, regardless of what we think, they're not gonna never admit it, man. These ponies ain't gonna never admit it. The media is not gonna never admit it. We all know that it's a dead horse at this time for Sony. And it is, because if I'm not for sure, I think they said Bungie was being sued too, right?
But yeah, that's right. That's right. I think you're dealing with some lawsuits.
So, and then they fired the girl after 35 years. Jim Ryan, I don't care nobody say he got fired. Everybody can say, well, he got let go. Now he got fired. He retired, now he got fired. That's all it is to it. I mean, far as I'm concerned, man, Sony is in a losing race. They hate to admit it. We all know the truth about this Spider-Man that's out now, and they got to deal with it. Because I'm very sure that Spider-Man is not doing as good as they think it is. Really, when people hear about these bugs and all that stuff. And now the good thing about that is where we came in and told the truth about Spider-Man. The media came out, I mean, the normal people for the first time, they came out and said that with Amazing Lucas come out and said it's buggy as hell. It's buggy as hell. Yep. And I mean, he's a big fanboy. Me and my boy, we got into an argument about that the other doggone day. The first thing I did, Unlimited, the only thing I did was mention up Sony. Oh man, he got outraged. He started cussing me out. And I'm just telling the truth. I said, what are you talking about console sales? Consoles are not moving, baby. I said, yeah, y'all got all these consoles out there. That's what y'all say they got. But as of right now, we all know they don't get that many consoles out there because the numbers don't add up. The game sales do not add up. And that's all. I mean, the revenue don't add up. Sony might be a dead horse at this junction of the race. Give Microsoft their credit. Sony said they wanted competition. And what did Nadala say? Bring the competition on, baby. Bring it on. Yep, because if that's what you want, that's what you're going to get.
Yep.
And those son bitches down there, huh?
He said, if you want competition, let us have competition.
Right. And plus, everybody know that Sony, and I'm going to bring Nintendo up in this equation too. Now, the only thing about with Nintendo, they're a little bit better situation than Sony is. Mm-hmm. But they ain't that much better of a situation when they're making the same damn games over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
Let's just admit it. Xbox is Sony's and Nintendo's daddy. They might well get ready for it. The industry is changing towards services. And Microsoft tried to tell them a long damn time ago, get aboard, because that's where it's going to. Yeah, everybody wants to see whether the Netflix of gaming. Big damn deal. Is that a bad deal? Is that a bad omen? No, because Netflix is kicking everybody's ass right now.
Yep.
And that's all it is to it. So if they want to call us the Netflix of gaming, so be it. I mean, we're enjoying the best worlds of everything in Xbox. Dude, I mean, they dropping things on the Game Pass. They dropping older games on the Game Pass. They're like I said, and like we always have said, the Game Pass is not for the big time industries at first. But when their games stop selling and Microsoft come calling, and they asked them, do they want to be on the Game Pass to make a little extra revenue? Microsoft don't mind paying that check for it. I mean, your game is on there. I mean, what's the name? The Batman game is on there. I mean, the Batman game. Yeah, it's on the Game Pass. What's the last one that came out? The remastered of the one that just came out last week.
What came out?
On the Game Pass. The one that came out on the Game Pass. That was the EA exclusive. That was the EA.
Oh, Dead Space remake.
Okay, look at that. It was a dead horse at the end. Now it's making money again. All because of what? Of the Game Pass. Microsoft don't mind helping out the big industries at the end. Everybody knows, and like I always have said, everybody knows it's not for the big time industries at first. It's not, it never has been. I mean, that we get some game on there, that's fine, it's cool. But look what they're doing. They make a little extra money because those games are dying out now. And I always have said that. It's not for the big time industries at first, but it's going to be for them at the end when they need to make a little extra money just to make a little revenue on the game. I think the game, I know the Batman Arkham game, they said its sales and revenue went up sky high when they went to the Game Pass. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason why I'm always telling people, watch what you say about Xbox and Microsoft, because right now Microsoft is kicking everybody in the ass right now. And like we always have said, they are helping gaming out. They're not hurting gaming. Right. If everything would have stayed the same without the Game Pass, how many of these companies would have already have folded already? We always have talked about that. All these small industries right now, as much money as it must cost to make these damn games. We always have said that. We preached that to the choir. But for the first damn time, Spider-Man come out with a $70 damn game, and that shit is buggy as hell. And another thing too, Unlimited, where the hell have the people gone? Where the hell have the people gone? I don't understand it. When Starfield came out, what did the developers say? Developers said they couldn't find that many bugs in the damn game. This damn Spider-Man come out, they ain't speaking shit about the game. They ain't speaking shit about no bugs or anything. They ain't speaking how short the game is or anything. So the only thing that I'm saying is this: how the hell can you get that game a high-ass score and it's buggy as hell, but it's okay? It is okay for the game to be buggy as hell. All I'm saying is this: Sony fans is delusional. They have lost their damn way. Amazing Lucas, bless his soul, he is a Sony pony to the heart, but he came out and told the truth for the first damn time that this game is buggy as hell. And he got on it. And I'm like, damn, we wouldn't even see that coming. Not from Amazing Lucas. So, that's all it is to it, man. That's all I got to say about that. I want to hear what you got to say.
Hey, man, excellent stuff there, Tuck. And Tuck, Zink got some advice for you, man. He said, Tuck Master, chicken noodle soup and saltine crackers for 2 days. You'll be fine. You sound like Sony, dying.
Well, that's what I'm going to do right now.
Yeah, man. Take care of yourself, Tuck. You don't need to join us if you're feeling sick, man. But I do appreciate you being here.
Well, I just want to join y'all in that and see how everything is.
Oh yeah. Well, everything for us and on Xbox is fine. It's Sony is one who's having the issues because as I put on screen here today, and with the recent news of the layoffs, but I gotta reiterate because I had an idiot in here try to say I'm laughing at people who lost their job. No, I'll never make fun of people who got laid off. However, what I am going to do is call out Sony for running their company so horribly this year. Let's see. How many failures does this company have to have in 1 year before people just finally admit that maybe, just maybe, they're not as great as you think it is or as you pretend it is, Forspoken did so bad they shut the devs down. Square Enix did. Final Fantasy 16 did so bad the new CEO had to call up Phil Spencer to get some money. Spider-Man released buggy, and that's their only first-party game. Marathon's delayed to 2025, and nobody knows what Sony has coming out next year because Sony doesn't even know what's coming out next year. Hell, Sony just had their CEO quit or fired, whichever side you're on. He's still leaving. Connie Booth fired. They're releasing people from their jobs and layoffs, and their studios don't want to make a bunch of games as service games that's going to fail. And matter of fact, even though Naughty Dog promised you PlayStation guys, The Last of Us Factions, that game was canceled. So even they lied to y'all. So tell me, Tuck, where is this fantastic, wonderful company that we just keep being telling is better than Xbox? Because Xbox, we know Hi-Fi Rush was a success and one of the best games of the year. Forza, when Forza debuted, it had 300% higher player base than the last one. Starfield not only had 11 million players, but was the biggest Bethesda game launch in company's history. And we just saw that they had a record-breaking quarter the other day for their Q1 in 2024 quarter. So the numbers, everything is just showing on Xbox we're good. And not only that, next year we get Avowed, Towerborn, Hellblade 2, Clockwork Revolution, and whatever else game they haven't announced yet, right? And down the line, we still got games like Fable and Gear 6 and Indiana Jones and all that. So everything on Xbox, again, polar opposites. But what I want people to come away today from is that, okay, look, we got to start calling a spade until things start turning around. And a turnaround is not going to be overnight. Turnaround might even not fucking happen. And if it don't happen, then Sony, Sega 2.0. It is what it is, man. Google posted, it's pretty cold where I'm at, dropped to like under 30. Yeah, it's cold here. It doesn't get too cold over here, but it's cold today too, where I'm at too, in this part of Texas, man. Tea, honey, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, and ginger root. Yeah, the grandma special right there from Deploy. Yeah, you know he had his mama or his grandma take good care of him when he was sick. We know damn well Marathon was launching in 2024. Sony fake release dates. I don't even think it had an official release date. Maybe Phil can loan. No, hell not, man. Phil better not loan Sony nothing. With all them, listen, Sony spent the beginning of this generation paying for all them games off Xbox, man. Phil better sit there and watch them suffer to the end. Maybe Phil Cologne someday. Deploy, you funny, man. You funny. 619. Hey, are you in San Diego with the 619 Deploy? Yeah, man. Better loan him some games. Man, Phil Spencer does not run a bank. He runs Xbox, a gaming and entertainment company. Tell Sony to go to the bank if they need a loan. And they're gonna make them pay it back too. Yeah, I figured, man. I figured with the 619 in San Diego, that's what's up. I love San Diego, man. I took a vacation there a couple of years ago, and I had such a great time. I was like, damn, I gotta go back there. You know, when 100 ain't here, but even if he was, I'd say, look, man, I like San Diego more than I like LA. And I know 100 don't fit here with that, but it is what it is, man. Love San Diego. Hey, Tuck, you good?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, well, I'm about to wrap it up shortly, Tuck. So, hey, man, you got anything else you want to add?
Well, the only thing I got to add in this is this. Sony fans, stop being delusional. Stop protecting your Sony brand and realize what's going on. We always have said this from the beginning, that your brand is really hurting right now. They talk, the Sony fans want to start talking about, Wolverine. Wolverine might even come out next year. So let's just be honest about the whole damn deal. Or are they going to really come out with Wolverine the way that things is right now? And the guy who they got running Sony right now, he's more of a mobile guy. So is he going to really turn this thing around for Sony? I mean, right now the people saying that they want a guy like Phil Spencer, and it might just be a little bit too late. So, I mean, I'm hoping that Sony does do something to stay in the industry, but as of right now, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. They hurting right now. And I'm very sure that, like I told people, now when we come to find out that Spider-Man didn't do all that good over there in the UK as they thought they did, how much money did it really make?
All right.
Will we ever really find out how much they really made over there? I doubt it. But we know it wasn't no 2.5 million. And like I always have said, if they did make over 2.5 million, and when us as real people telling people about the game is being buggy, and these people actually listen for the first doggone time. And then don't forget, it's a $70 game. When you talk about $70 game, I don't give a care. You want more than 15 hours of gameplay. I mean, and 5 hours of cutscene. So you're actually getting 10 hours of gameplay. Like I said, whenever you get a game like that, you want more for your buck. And $70 is a lot for a game. Now, don't forget, Sony is the one that turned around and came out with this $70 narrative. And then everybody else followed. Mm-hmm. People in today's world cannot afford a $70 game. Now, let me ask you this, Colin. I want to ask you this. What was the last $70 game that you bought?
Oh, I'm the wrong person to ask, man. I buy way too many games. Because let's not forget, I bought the Starfield Constellation Edition, Tuck, and that thing was $300. So I'm not the best guy to ask when it comes to this stuff. My disposable income's all right, but to be fair, I don't have a family or kids or anything like that to take.
No. The reason why I'm asking you that, when it comes down to a certain game on the Game Pass, you're gonna get on the Game Pass, where on Sony's end, they're gonna have to go to buy the game regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
They got to buy the game regardless, even though that we buy games still on the Xbox. And this is where I always have tried to tell people need to get it straight. Xbox is just not there for just to be on the Xbox. You still got option to buy the damn game if you want to. Yep. And that's the beauty of the Xbox. Sony's not doing that. Yes, they got a Game Pass, but they're not doing anything what Microsoft is doing. Ain't none of them. Nintendo too. Ain't none of them doing the same things that Xbox is doing. Xbox is killing it at this point. And I mean, and how long the Game Pass been around now? What, 5-6 years now?
Yeah, good 6-7 years, I think.
And then never ever complain about money revenue coming through the Game Pass. Maybe when it first came out, because people didn't know how it was really going to do. But when they start dropping their day one games on the service, dude, it helps out a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, the last game that I bought, I just got through buying Alan Wake 2. Mm-hmm. Alan Wake 2, and I understand what you're saying about Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is a beautiful game. Yes. And let me tell you right now, and get off of Microsoft because of what they did with that game during the 360 era. That was way back when the 360 was on. So that is old news. I mean, I'm very sure that the game is good. But as far as me putting that game as 100 or 10 out of a 10 and all that stuff, no, it don't deserve that. It don't deserve that. Maybe 8s, 9s, and 7s. But everybody's giving this, but all the media is giving these games 10. And they don't even deserve to be 10s. Spider-Man do not deserve to be 10, how buggy that game is. And then when I'm hearing about Alan Wake, and now they said that it's buggy in some instances too. So I'm just saying, how the heck can you give a game a 10 and when he got all these damn bugs from the beginning? I mean, and then you're going to give Starfield so much of a bad rush and a bad rating. But I'm just glad to see people playing Starfield. They're not paying attention to the ratings. They're not paying attention to people. And the people who do these ratings, they need to have their ass kicked because that don't make no damn sense. But other than that, I'm going to get off here because I'm a little bit underneath the weather and all that stuff. But that's all I got to say about that. I mean, people just think about everything about what we said. Do not listen to MBG. MBG's so full of crap, it's pitiful. Because he don't even know where the entrance is going to go, where his side is going to go. And that's all it is to it. Amazing Lucas, all of them. Do not pay attention to those those people who say they're for the industry because they're not. Xbox is hitting it right now. I'm loving the Game Pass. When there's certain games that I know that I'm not going to buy, that I just want to give a try, that's what I'm going to do. That is what I'm going to do. And if I decide to buy it, I can buy it. If I decide I don't want to buy it, I still will have it on the Game Pass. So it's not nothing that you're losing on the Game Pass. It's a win-win situation for you. So that's all I got to say about that, man. But this is a great show, man, that you always have. And I'm glad that you came on tonight and talked about this. I really am. So, but as of right now, I'm going to go. You can close things up, and I hear you, and I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, Tuck, man. Thank you for joining, man. Excellent soliloquy there.
Okay, and I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, have a good one, and man,
All
get
right.
your rest, man. Get them liquids that you get that the tea, honey, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, and ginger root, like my boy Deploy said. You know, take care of yourself the way your mom used to do.
Okay, and I'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right, bye.
All right, bro. Yeah. So Deploy, before I wrap it up, going to read these few comments here. Said Deploy 619. Are they gonna have his third party money had at games in 2024? And by they he means Sony. Yeah, and I don't. What games are those though? You know, because the money did is those because the money is not it's not going to the Call of Duty time exclusive content or or anything big like that anymore. It's going to be some game that they're going to pretend is better than everything on Xbox for about 6 minutes, and then go back to talking about Xbox when Avowed or Hellblade 2 comes out. Goggle Post said, last full price I bought was Starfield on PC. I bought the $30 one for Xbox as well. Yeah, definitely, man. I buy games all the time. Now, this year, what I've done differently this year, though, Goggle Poe, is that I stopped buying every single game day one. Like, there was a period of time, especially last generation, where I was just buying everything and keeping up with the Jones type stuff. And then I realized I wasn't playing a lot of them games day one. So now, if I'm only buying games, I only buy games day one that I plan to play day one. Everything else I'm getting on sale, I'm getting later, or I'm playing on Game Pass. I have no, I really got a big collection. So if anything ever happens, right, I still got enough games to last me a lifetime anyway. Zink said, Colin Moriarty said Game Pass is sustainable. Yeah, what's funny is that not long after he said that, Game Pass made $3 billion that year, something like that. So yeah, Colin is a dummy. Goggle Poe, he's not that bright. He really has the worst takes. He's way too emotional as a pony. Yeah, he just, you know what? His gimmick is just to say big words and sound smarter than he actually is. Because he's got a decent vocabulary because he sits there on his podcast with the thesaurus in his lap, so he could sound smarter than he is to the PlayStation fans he'd be targeting with his nonsense. He's someone, he don't know what he says, but people think he's smart because he'll throw a big word in the middle of a sentence, man. Yeah, man. I hope he getting some sleep, man. J-Dub is live and damage controlling. Never watched J-Dub, probably never will. Zink will give me his MO if he's live right now. Agreed. I have too many games to play. I'll get Alan Wake 2 on sale. Yep. And by the way, that narrative that's been going around about how Xbox shouldn't have let them go, stop it. Gamers did not buy Alan Wake 1. Y'all didn't buy Quantum Break. And the only reason why y'all bought Alan Wake 2 is because it had a high Metacritic. If that game even had an 86, y'all wouldn't be saying that nonsense, right? So stop that bullshit right there. I ain't letting that one slide. That narrative around the game is annoying as hell. Yeah, got some Hall's cough drops, man. I need to get some. Yeah, man, y'all got to take care of yourselves, man. It's that time of year where people start getting sick. All right, yeah, but I'm going to leave it off with this comment here. From someone I talked to. Her name's Lerpa. She an Xbox gamer from the Philippines, actually. But she said, why is Sony PlayStation having a hard time creating game as a service games? It's because these are games that rely heavily on gameplay mechanics rather than cinematic experience. These are games that drive the use of mobiles and are played again and again. And her comment pretty much summed up why the whole game as a service thing is not going to work under Sony's philosophy. They've got a losing strategy on a dying brand with a boring console that has no games. And So what Sony is now is what people pretended Xbox One was last generation. And with that, guys, you guys have a great night. Have a great rest of the week. If there's any big news, the Unlimited Truth will be back. But other than that, guys, enjoy your week. And I am out.